From UFOs to ghost and psychic powers, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now and learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. For most of human history, civilization was burdened by the cost of communication and the scarcity of information. Today, the problem has shifted. The average consumer is pummeled by an abundance of data, so much so that analyzing everything is literally impossible. Luckily for us, there's one solid piece of hardware that helps us parse through mountains of information and even use past experiences to make educated guesses based on limited data. The human brain. Here's where it gets crazy. Not only is your brain constantly warping your perception of the world, but scientists still don't completely understand how it works. However, we have been able to catch human brains red-handed in acts of deceit. Take the concept of priming. In psychology, priming essentially means that your brain uses past stimuli to inform the way it interprets new stimuli. In other words, your brain uses seemingly irrelevant information to help it guess at the present. In a 2004 TED Talk, Al Seckel demonstrates how our brain's perceptive capabilities can be fooled by optical illusions. This is a type of implicit memory or unconscious connection. Without telling your conscious mind, your brain is using past information to influence the way you perform a task. The examples of this phenomenon are numerous. For one, you're more likely to believe a statement is true simply if you've heard it before. These unconscious connections don't just rely on visual stimuli. In a BBC documentary called How to Make Better Decisions, researchers show that if you are holding a drink when you meet a stranger, the temperature of that drink can affect your opinion of that person. If you're holding a warm drink, for example, you will tend to have a more favorable opinion of the stranger. While these may seem like small hiccups in an otherwise reliable process, the implications carry over into much more than optical illusions and first impressions. Consider the importance of the context in which information is encountered. In what's known as the framing effect, scientists have found that a person's answer to a question depends on how that question is framed, whether it emphasizes losses or gains. Emphasizing losses in a question will result in a more risk-averse or, hopefully, safer answer. So what does this mean for your day-to-day life? Most immediately, it means that the experiences you've had in the past may affect you in ways you don't understand. It also indicates that a great deal of external stimuli, far more than what you consciously notice, doesn't just affect your decision-making process. It also pushes you towards certain predictable conclusions and behaviors. Mentalists and magicians such as Keith Barry and Darren Brown are famous for their demonstrations of what is sometimes called brain magic, using the processing patterns of the brain to perform feats that may seem supernatural to the average audience member. Taken to a further extreme, the implication here is as disturbing as it is true. It is completely possible for others to influence your decision-making process by manipulating the images, memes, and experiences you encounter. When it comes to how you think what you think, there's something your brain doesn't want you to know. Stay tuned for the next part in our series on perception.